Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Learning with Jelly. So, today we're going to expand on list comprehension. So, this is lesson 9 of module 3. In lesson 8, we had an introduction of exactly what list comprehensions are. Highly recommend that you look at lesson 8 so you can better digest this lesson here. But for a quick review, this is the syntax that we're working with list comprehensions. They're going to be surrounded by brackets. That's how we know it's a list comprehension in this case. And it's going to be do this for this collection. So for this already existing list, perhaps, given this optional situation or condition. And so we are going to add the blue since in the previous lesson, we already looked at the green and the pink. So let's continue. So our agenda for today is we're going to review what a list comprehension is, and then we're going to create those list comprehensions with optional conditional statements. So from a review of last time, list comprehensions are a way that we can iterate or cycle through a list. The goal is to create a new list that has done something on each item of an existing list or some of the items of an existing list. They sometimes can be faster than for loops, and the syntax is do this for this collection for this situation. So in this case, x plus 1 for x. So if I use x as what I want to do, I need to use x right after that for keyword. If this was word, I need to also say for word. If this was pizza, I also need to say for pizza. So these two values must align. So let's code them with conditions. So I want to create a list comprehension that not only multiplies each of these salaries by 6%, but I only want to give a 6% for those who are making less than 50K. So I have an existing list here, and I see that it should only return 2 numbers after my list comprehension because these 2 values are the only 2 that are less than $50,000. So let's go ahead and start. We start with brackets because that is the list comprehension. And what do I want to do? I want to multiply each of these things by 6%. So I'm going to do x times 0.06 for x because I said after the keyword, this letter needs to be the same as this. Whether it's a word or a letter, it doesn't matter. For x and bonus. But now I need to say if x is less than 50,000. 1, 2, 3, right? So now I have this optional conditional statement. Only do it if they are making less than 50K. And here I get out those 2 values. So the 32,000 salary is going to get a bonus of 1,900 and the 42,000 roughly 2,500. So this is this optional statement that we're adding. So same thing here. I can create a list comprehension that capitalizes the greetings below only if a period exists in the greeting. So we're going to have brackets here, and I'm going to say word.upper, object.method, right? For word, because I use word here in greetings, okay? If a period is in word. And now I see that it is doing the Mr. period, MS period, and Mrs. period. And I get the capital greetings there. Okay. One last one that's coming from the previous lesson as well. I only want to square each of these numbers if the number is even. So in this case, start with brackets again. We are going to do X, and we're going to square it. For x in nums if x mod 2, which means if you divide it by 2, its remainder is equal to 0. Because that is going to determine if it's even or odd. That if you divide it by 2, you get no remainder, it was an even number. If you divide by 2 and you get a remainder of 1, it was an odd number. So in this case, I see that it only squares the even numbers here. I have 3 even numbers in my original list, so I get out 3 results. So, in summary, list comprehensions are a way that we can change certain values within a list and can be faster than for loops. We can add those optional conditional statements within list comprehensions to only do certain things for certain items in a list. So that is all. Thank you for tuning in with Learning with Jelly. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And stay tuned for the next lesson where we're going to introduce for loops versus list comprehensions. Thank you so much. Bye bye.